Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Today's topic is about dinosaurs, the ancient lizards. And with the reference is taken from the DK experience TQB. Now let's get started. The ground swallowed up the huge reptile bodies, time passed, and they became entombed in the rock. Millions of years later, curious humans found some of these fossils and started to ask questions. This story will lead you to some of the answers. 65 million years ago, the giant reptiles disappeared, while other creatures continued to thrive. This group became extinct. Their end was dramatic and shocking, but the exact circumstances are still shrouded in mystery. The right reference for the author is written there, written by John Malland. And let's go to the next page. I was there. The rock gives up its secrets. Discovery of Tyrannosaurus rex. 65 million years ago, the Earth's climate was hot and the vegetation was lush. Rivers flowed towards a vast inland sea. This was a time when dinosaurs, crocodiles, salamanders, turtles, and small mammals all flourished. When the rivers flooded, they spilled across the floodplain, and when they shrank back, they left behind layers of soft sediment. Some animals wandered into these smooth and sand deposits by accident. Others were swept there by flood water or sank into muddy times. As the sediment set hard and became rock, the animal remains turned into fossils. One of them was a Tyrannosaurus rex. Looking for dinosaurs. Fast forward to 1902 and hell Greeks on the banks of the Missouri River, Montana. Dinosaurs had once lived and died here on a wide floodplain close to an ancient sea. Now it looks very different as far as the eye can see. The landscape is a wilderness of rocky outcrops and deep canyons. The American Museum of Natural History organized an expedition to survey the area's ancient rocks that became known as the Hell Creek beds, rocks that might contain dinosaur fossils. The survey was led by museum paleontologist Bernard Brown. The dinosaur graveyard. Brown and his team crossed the rugged terrain on horseback, searching the rocks for clues to ancient life. They found the world's most famous dinosaur. First, they discovered a triceratops, but then the bones of an altogether different dinosaur emerged. Brown had never seen anything like them before. They belong to an unknown species, one that was new to science. The only way to find out was to excavate the bones, take them to the museum, and piece them together. Heavy blocks of stone, each containing a precious dinosaur fossil, were cut from the bedrock. Horses and wagons moved them to the nearest railroad station, 140 miles, equivalent to 225 kilometers, from the dig site, from where they were taken to the New York City. At the museum, the bones were removed from the rock, but only part of the skeleton was there. The rest was still in the ground. The team was very excited when it became clear that the bones belonged to a large, meat-eating dinosaur. Only after Brown recovered more of the creator in 1905 could its full size and appearance be appreciated. Naming the dinosaur now, bone by bone. The dinosaur skeleton was slowly rebuilt. At first it was through to the Deinodon horridus, the terrible teeth, meaning a large carnivore and one of the first dinosaurs to be named in North America. Brown casually referred to his find as the old Deinodon skeleton. As the bones were pierced pieced together. However, it became clear that bronze dinosaur was not a dinodon, but a new species that would require a name of its own. The task of naming the dinosaur fell to Henry Osborn, the wealthy director of the American Museum of Natural History. Osborn was the first person to describe it in a famous article written in 1905 for a scientific journal. In it, he proposed calling this is a heavy piece of work, but dinosaur bones are so rare that it is worth the work. The dinosaur Tyrannosaurus rex, king of the tyrant lizards, it was a name the whole world would soon come to know. The name that got away. What Osborn did not know was that Tyrannosaurus rex had already been discovered. In 1892, Edward Rinker Cope had described a single bone from a dinosaur he believed was entirely new. He named the dinosaur Manospondylus gigas, means the giant thin vertebra. Bronze fossils come from the same type of dinosaur, so under the dinosaur naming rules, the name Tyrannosaurus rex should have been abandoned in favor of Manospondylus. However, by the time the mistake was discovered, the name of Tyrannosaurus rex had become too famous to change. I'm now at work on the second large cut in the Dinodon quarry, which is 100 feet long, 20 feet deep, 15 feet wide, hard sandstone which has to be blasted before it can be plowed. This is Bernard Brown, written in 1905. With the title now A Changing World. Throughout Earth's very long history, the planet's surface has been shaped by the powerful forces of nature. Some 300 million years ago, all land was joined together in one massive supercontinent known as Pangaea, meaning all Earth. Then, beginning around 200 million years ago, Pangaea divided into two land masses, Laurasia and Gondwanaland and Laurasia. Over time, this also broke apart, forming several smaller pieces that became the continents we know today. The continents are still on the move at a rate of nearly 2 in 4 centimeters a year, far too slowly for us to notice. The globes here show how Earth's land and sea have changed over time. In short meanings, in the early Permian period of Earth history, 280 million years ago, reptiles and amphibians were the dominant land animals roaming across Pangaea. At the end of the Permian period in 251 MYA, an estimated 50% of all animal life died out. Life recovered by the late Triassic period, 230 to 200 Maya, which was when the first dinosaurs appeared, small, two-legged meat-eaters, and larger plant eaters that walked on 2 or 4 legs. All Earth's land was still a part of the Pangaea supercontinent. Pangaea began to crack apart in the Jurassic period, 200 to 144 Maya, forming small continents separated by sea, Maya or MYA. Forming smaller continents separated by sea, the first birds appeared, but reptiles dominated the earth. Pterosaurus ruled the skies, and Plesiosaurus inhabited the sea. Yes. During the Cretaceous, the planet's temperature cooled to around 68 degree F means 20 degrees Celsius. Sea levels were at an all-time high, as much as 650 feet means 200 meters higher than today, and the seas were filled with a huge variety of wonderful creatures. In the Cretaceous period (144 to 65 MEMYA), the continents drifted across the face of the Earth, heading toward their present-day positions. Dinosaurs colonized every continent, becoming the dominant and the most successful animals on land. For Cretaceous world, travel back to the Cretaceous period and you discover a world ruled by reptiles. One group reigned supreme, the dinosaurs. These land-living reptiles were a success story that lasted for millions of years. They roamed over plains, wandered through forests, and gathered at the water's edge. The dinosaurs shared the planet with fish, insects, and small mammals. In the skies above were large flying reptiles whose wings carried them far and wide, but the seas belonged to predators that spent their lives below the waves, cruising the world's oceans. Although this Although these vast marine reptiles lived in the water, they swam to the surface to breathe air before disappearing back into the deep. In the Cretaceous ocean, it's a case of eat or be eaten. For those at the bottom of the food chain, survival is all about self-defense, while predators higher up in the eating order depend on their skills as hunters. A fish uses its maneuverability and speed to flee from predators, but when an an elasmosaurus or plate lizard is on its tail, its chances of escape are slim. This long-necked plesiosaur searched the oceans for fish, squid, and spiral shelled means ammonites. Elasmosaurus has a snake-like neck about 23 feet or 7 meters long. It chases after its prey, matching this creature's attempts to escape with twists and turns of its neck. Or it waits for a shoal of fish to swim by, then plunges its head and starts feeding. All Cretaceous marine reptiles, mosasaurs are the fiercest predators, and Tyrannosaurus or swollen lizard is the most awesome of all. Its long, slandered body is propelled through the water by its powerful tail, which it switches from side to side. An excellent swimmer, Tyrannosaurus can travel great distances in search of food. Fossils have been found hundreds of miles away from land. Generally, it patrols the warmer, shallow waters around the coast where prey is more plentiful. Tyrannosaurus is a top predator, gorging on large sea creatures, including fish, plesiosaurs, and turtles. Its strong jaws are packed with vicious teeth, with a hard bony tip to its snout. Its bite can crack open the thickest of shells to get at the meat inside. Archelon cannot outswim Tyrannosaurus, but if it can crawl onto land, it should be safe from attack. Tyrannosaurus' slim body helps it swim in the shallows, and as the turtle nears the beach, the mosasaur closes in. One bite is all that's needed to seal the turtle's fate. A fully grown Archelon turtle is 13 feet means 4 meter long. A gentle giant slowly paddling its way through the seas. Unlike other turtles, its back is not covered by solid shell. Instead, it is protected by a network of bones with thick skin stretched between them. Flying over the sea on wings of leathery skin are reptiles known as pterosaurs. They are masters of the Cretaceous skies, agile hunters that swoop how to snatch fish out of water, catch insects in flight, and scavenge carrion on the ground. The true giant of Cretaceous skies is Quetzal is Quetzalcoatlus, meaning feathered serpent, and named after an Aztec god. Its 36 feet means 11 meter wingspan makes it the largest creature ever to have flown, 3 times the size of the today's largest flying bird. As it skims across water, Quetzalcoatlus watches for fish sunlight might reflect off a silvery body below, or a fish might break the surface, giving its position away. Quetzalcoatlus tricks quickly grabbing the fish with its toothless beak. Despite its great size, Quetzalcoatlus is light, weighing 300 lb, means 135 kilograms less. At most, perhaps much less, its lightness is down to weight-saving features such as a skeleton of hollow bones that are almost paper-thin and a short body compared to its vast wings. Quetzalcoatlus can stay aloft for hours at a time, gliding gracefully on warm air thermals, rising up from the land. It controls its flight by changing the angle of its wings. Lifting them up reduces air resistance and allows the huge creature to descend. Pteranodon means wing without tooth, has a wingspan that reaches 26 feet 8 meter. It has a long, toothless beak, a tall bony crest on its head, and a short tail. Its body is covered in a layer of short fur, and sharp claws grow at the tips of its fingers and toes. A fish-eater, Pteranodon snatches its unsuspecting prey from the water and holds it in its throat push, just as today's pelicans do with their catch. Pteranodon can hold several fish in its pouch and waits until it's full before soaring away for a feast. Pteranodon's wings are made from skin and thin strips of muscle, tightly stretched along the length of its arms and attached to its legs. They are long and thin, ideal for soaring and gliding in light winds as the flying giant surveys the sand below. Now, a small explication of pterosaur head crests. Many pterosaurs has bony crests on their heads. Their purpose is unclear, but perhaps they acted as ruders that helped them to keep their balance in flight. Maybe the crests were covered with brightly colored skin that helped attract or signal to mates at breeding time. Maybe both of these ideas are right. This is all of today. I think that is too much for you. Then choose.